Hi, this is Team Swag. We're here to present our project. I'm Pierre Hery.
I'm Drew Ferguson.
And I'm Doug Fox.
So we did project number 3, which was the traffic simulator. And I'm going to start by explaining the GUI. This is the GUI script right here. What I have is I have a start button that I'll show you later, and it runs the whole script right here. And then I have a stop button that basically stops the script. So the way it works is that in the start button, I set a global variable called run, set it equal to 1, and run the actual program if run equals 1. So when the user presses start, it's going to go through the whole program. And when the user presses stop, it's going to set run equal to 0, which will halt the program, and then it's going to close everything. So if I press start right here, it's loading right now. So here's the GUI. I have the start button on the left and the stop button right next to it. Underneath I have 2 empty boxes that will fill up with the calculations of the instantaneous carbon emissions in pounds per hour and the instantaneous total rate of fuel consumptions in gallons per hour. So if I press start, it'll run the traffic simulator in the middle, and then it will display the actual values right here, and when I press stop, it'll just close it. So I'll pass you on to Drew right now, who's going to explain the calculations.
Okay, I started off with the green ball function, .m file, and I changed some things around, the constants and some of the parameters. I changed the velocities, v of x and v of y to be 0, so it doesn't change lanes by itself. So we can decide that, or Doug can figure that out later when he did in Cars Move 2. I had set up the speed to be a random speed from 0.5 to 5, and then I multiplied by a constant, which I calculated so that the cars move from equivalent 50 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour on the road when the distance is in meters. Then I did in the get points function, I took out velocity, so over here I can extract the velocity. Then using the velocity and a random function up here, g equals rand, I made 2 separate random kinds of cars, multiplied by their respective emissions and gas mileage, and through some tedious conversions, I extracted the total pounds of CO2 per hour and the total, instantaneous gallons per hour. These will remain constants because at the beginning of the GUI start, all the vehicles are have their initial velocities are constant, so thus all the instantaneous gallons per hour, instantaneous pounds of CO2 per hour will be constant as well. After that, I went down and I looked at the cars, and I made, using various shapes and distances, I made them look a little bit more like cars. And after that, the rest is all Doug pretty much. And here it is.
Okay, so after Drew had figured out his parts, we had to extract the velocity, the x position, and the y position using the function getPoints. And then in Cars Move 2, we extracted it using getPoints again, and we assigned it to variables a, c, and v, respective for x point, y point, and the velocity. We used 2 for loops and a while loop, and defined 2 variables, 1 to 20. And for the first statement, which refers to cars in lane 5, we wanted the cars to switch to lane 4 if the car in front of it was going at a slower speed, so that it did not run into it. For the next statement, it was for the cars in lane 1, and we wanted the cars in lane 1 to switch into lane 2 if the car in front of it was going slower. And for these two statements, it basically states that for any of the other cars in lanes 2 through 4, excuse me, if the speed of the car in front of it is slower, then it will change based on a random value defined by G equals rand 1 to 20. It will switch left or right. And after that, we finished up with plotting different cars of green colors and blue colors, and Drew worked on he basically created a bunch of different plotted a bunch of different types of objects to make it actually look like cars. And then I added ref lines, which were the dotted yellow lines to define the lanes. And we changed the color of the ref lines to yellow and the background to black. And yeah, that's pretty much everything.
Yep. So again, this is Pierre, Hery, Doug Fox, and Drew Ferguson. This is Team Swag, Section A05, and RTA is Nicholas Drake. All right. That's it. Thank you.